We
Or is it
fought for F. There we go.
We fought. What?
We fought valiantly and bravely
Some
on
random
the
Asian.
battlefield.
What? Yeah. Some
Yes.
random Asian fought bravely on
This
the...
is a good thing. Yes.
They're all on
yes.
the right again. What is going on with the bands today?
Because IGN do not need bans. IGN are above bans, and in fact I've just donated them to Purple Team, who will be epic. And first pick coming out, which will, you know, be... No, it will be Ash. Because screw banning and picking stage, I do what I want.
I just pick whatever champion I feel like.
It'll be so good if the banning and picking phase goes in, they get into game, into the actual picks and bans, and they just pick entirely different champions.
The other teams completely ignores everything they said. Just go, just whatever, sod it.
Just starts taking their champions as well.
Heimerdinger. Oh dear. But we are going to be seeing some picks coming out now. I don't know if anything is actually going to...
Heimerdinger, as you predicted.
Well, obviously. I mean, you can't... You see, the thing, Pulse, that you don't understand is that when you go into a game, if there isn't a Heimerdinger, the game is worse.
Right, okay.
So, therefore, you are worse if you are in this game and there is not a Heimerdinger. And I understand they may need to make the game worse for the sake of the tournament setting, but you know, you still do need to have that Heimerdinger at least showing his face,
right?
Which is you know, a hand's face if ever I've seen one.
Yep.
So yeah, if you know, no Heimer, no proper game. Obviously, that's why they showed Heimer, even though they couldn't realistically pick him without sort of cheating a lot.
Yeah. Go Heimer or go home, as it were.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. It's much like Clarity Rumble, actually, is an excellent choice. Clarity Revive, in fact. Pretty much the standard play, I think, with Rumble is actually to run into the lane, use your Q a few times to get some heat up, run under the enemy tower, use Clarity, die, revive, and then get back into lane before the game even starts. Sometimes even with 8 bonus health. So, you know, it's a really strong summoner spell setup there.
Apparently we should have some of the blockers, but I don't really get the point of them, especially when Rumble, you know, we already know what some of these he's going to be taking, which will be Revive and Clarity. I mean, this is a pretty standard build for Rumble, and it doesn't really, you know, there's no real counterplay around that anyway.
Yeah, you can't, like, there is, like, the game actually automatically locks in Revive Clarity.
Yeah, because there's no other alternatives.
Yeah, and basically, yes, on a serious note, we probably should have some of the blockers, but we didn't think about it. Yeah, we didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anywho, we have 2 minutes 48 remaining on the delay. Based on something quick. So, we should probably take a look at someone's rune pages. I'm just thinking what would be most interesting, because we have a fairly conventional team from IGN, but on Epic, we don't know who's going where. So maybe let's take a look at Wukong? Yeah. Or even Kale, actually. Kale actually makes sense, because to see if she's going AD carry or AP or other.
Or other. It looks like we're
other.
actually going to be seeing AD.
Right. By the way,
no.
who is our streamer today? You will need to update those things. So I will quickly type you those names. IGN is on the blue team, and Vic is on the right team.
Wait, KL is running AD quintessences, but magic penetration reds, which could actually make a certain amount of sense. Huh. I don't know which are the most efficient runes per stat, per slot, as it were. So it might well be that getting magic penetration quints will, magic penetration reds will actually allow the Q with the AD ratio on it to hit harder, proportional to the amount cost per rune you've put in, essentially. I don't know, actually, honestly. It may be a mistake, that's the other option. But I doubt it. Quite a strange mistake to make. What a mistake to make it. No. But yeah, it's an unusual setup.
Yeah.
It sort of suggests a kind of a hybrid approach, though. I don't know that, but probably.
Yes, so, in other news, we have 1 minute left. I think we've pretty much covered everything because, you know, certain players were a little bit tardy, should we say.
It's okay, Nick Allen, we love you.
It's fine. Also, Wukong has taken Cleanse, which is quite interesting. But I guess the fact that Wukong is such a large part of their team fight that they just need to get him in position. And what is he going to cleanse out of, actually? So from Nick Allen's Lulu, we have Cho'Gath Silence, I guess, is probably the main thing. Maybe Ash Arrow to the face, but, you know, he's got a pretty decent front line, specifically Jarvan.
There's also the fact with Wukong that if you're quick about it, you can just decoy out of an Ash Arrow.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, you will still get slowed, but you won't get stunned by it. I guess it could just be when he's looking for that hard engage, though. When, like, if he's running at the enemy team, he gets a volley chucked at him, he gets a glitter lance chucked at him, he gets a charm chucked at him. If you can tank all those things and then cleanse out of it, maybe? I don't really know. It's certainly going to contribute to him being more slippery, sort of on average like that. But yeah, it's an interesting choice.
Yeah. Also, something I found about Wukong is that if you ult it with Lee Sin immediately when he goes into the clone, then you'll hit Wukong, and then you can follow it with a Q. And I did that in a game, and I was so happy with myself. I threw my keyboard out the window and then ran around the block.
Wow.
And I quit the game because
He must have loved you.
It was magical.
I kind of wonder how Zhonya's interact with Wukong.
In what way?
Well, like if you use Zhonya, is it a Fiddlesticks ultimate or is it channeled or what? Is it like Lee Sin where like you just get stuck in the animation? I love building Zhonyas on wildly inappropriate champions just to see what happens. Lee Sin has to be the best though, because you can literally Zhonyas during his ult animation and you are a golden karate statue. Or you can actually queue into someone, like flying golden statue kick to the face, which is amazing.
Yeah, very, very classy, and you do win an award while doing so. But anyway, we are in-game. I am Poles, I am joined by Spuddington. This is EA versus IGN. IGN, of course, in that blue corner, and in the purple corner will be Epic, and that is Fisherman Fizz. My life is currently complete.
We waffle with waffle with waffle.
Weef waffle waffle.
We waffle waffle waffle.
Weef waffle waffle.
Yeah. The current gimmick in our own personal games actually is to just say GG well played at the start and say GLHF at the end.
Yes.
It is sort of being pointless for pointlessness' sake, but I don't have anything
you're being
else to
obnoxious.
say.
It's quite amusing. But we do have Dragon Tamer Lulu walking up into potentially the enemy jungle. Nick Allen putting down the ward very aggressively. And a ward responded in kind by Sona. I don't necessarily know if that was the optimum place to put the ward, but they will now be ward bros. So that is okay. We will have IGN moving into the top jungle for Epic. Might be looking for this red invade, maybe looking to get a pick, but they know they're there right now, so they're probably maybe just looking to get this buff off them. Cho'Gath doesn't necessarily want to be starting red, but he's pretty sustained anyway, so he can probably just go for that and then go for his blue after, which is no problem at all. In fact, we might have Epic doing a counter invade because they know something's up. So much mind play happening here, Spuddington.
There is a lot of mind play going on here. They're actually going to shove down that ward into enemy red. Probably now. Okay, so they back out and go for this blue buff. It does leave a free red buff steal available, but I think probably they don't actually want the level 1 fight. I mean, Lulu Ash is actually incredibly strong level 1. I mean, it's probably the strongest level 1 fight bot lane in the game. I'm not even joking when I say that. And actually got Rumble possibly face-checking here. Did see that, I believe. Fizz and Show are there, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jarvan heading straight into the enemy jungle. He's getting a smiteless pull. It does look like that's going to be the case.
Yep.
Actually, Sona Kong bot, is it?
Jarvan will be going down there, maybe looking for a gank to happen, maybe flag and dragging over the wall, yeah, maybe to pick up that red buff, which would make a huge amount of sense, and that would be Wukong Sona bottom.
It's unconventional, I can certainly say that. Raffles, meanwhile, is going to be picking up that red buff, should be able to get that relatively without a problem. Cho'Gath also going to be taking that blue. And we've got Tim Fizzer up against Rumble right now. I'd imagine that would be a lane that would really favour Rumble, although X actually taking quite a bit of damage. He's got the level advantage on him. At the moment, there's only stun harpings available. Both losing a lot of health from that.
Meanwhile, bottom, we do have a gank. Jarvan coming in, looking for the flag. There's a drag onto both players. Baron and Nick Allen being locked down. First blood comes out for Jarvan as Wukong takes a hit to the face. Last auto attack from Ash will not result on the kill. And Solar will be picking up that kill from the Dragon Strike from Jarvan. I'm not going to be terribly unhappy about that situation. 2-0.
Yeah, that's not the start that you really want on an Ashe Lulu lane. Losing that experience advantage, and actually at top, meanwhile, Rumble not looking happy. Level 1 to level 3, level 2 now. He's not in a good situation either right now. Rumble, probably one of his biggest problems is his inability to farm under tower. Tim Fizzer is a baller, by the way.
It's quite baller.
He is a monstrous baller, but I mean, to do that kind of play, quite a lot of players, such as me for instance, would quite badly misjudge the distances on such abilities as did he, and end up just tanking the tower shot. But he really judged that well, and we've now got Sona trading with Baron, coming off ahead actually, I think, a little bit, especially coupled with that heal.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a massive level advantage on them right now, and heals is definitely what they need, especially when they have you know, a character like Wukong down there. Meanwhile, top, we will have Jarvan looking for this guy onto Tim Fizzer. There's the hop. Black and Drag goes in, actually knocks him up at the very tip of that combo, and a couple more seconds of that Flame Spitter will pick up the kill on some random Asian. That has basically just tip lane back in his favour.
Yeah, and Rom is actually one of those characters which is relatively independent of farm is going to be strong. I mean, obviously, farm on any character help, but Rumble has a heck of a lot of damage just built straight into his kit. So as long as he gets his levels, he's not going to be too unhappy about missing out on a bit of farm under tower. And obviously, if he gets kills, that's just going to completely override that. So what we've got now, oddly enough, one of the matchups I've never seen before is proving to be the least interesting at the moment, is that Kayle versus Ahri. Looks like Kayle is just going with the shove into tower strategy, though Cho'Gath may be looking for this gank here. She is extended quite a long way. Reckoning goes down. We've got the Foxfire landing in. Rupture actually led incorrectly. Feral Scream goes down, but Kayle is just going to go walking on out. And what is Sona doing there?
I don't actually know, but meanwhile, bottom, they are aggressing onto Wukong because Sona has, of course, left. I guess Sona just wanted to be aggressive and get those assists happening. But, yeah, indeed. So, with a waffle, we'll be good to go, and we'll be living for another day. I will eventually master his name by the end of the game, do not worry.
His name is Waffle.
Waffle. Oh, wait,
yep.
No.
Waffle. It's definitely Waffle. And actually, I really like that pink ward down there at bottom lane. You'll see Sona just warded the brush, giving them kind of that just amount of control. I mean, right now, they are so far ahead in terms of trading power. If they can jump onto Ashe and Lulu and deliver all their combo, they will come out significantly ahead. So the only strategy for Ashe and Lulu, essentially, is a poking match. Having that ping ward in that brush there.
Ping goes down on Ahri, and they will be looking for this gank. She's out of mana. Flash goes down, and the Flag and Drag will not follow up. And the Flash is a pretty successful gank, as Cho'Gath actually returns into the lane. Rupture goes down, Flag and Drag onto him, but coming from Magus as well. But Weffa is a bit too far away. He actually flashes over the wall, scared of the follow-up by Kayle, despite being out of mana, however.
Yeah, it's a little bit, I feel it's probably unnecessary, but I can understand the fear of it. Probably wasn't aware of exactly what Flag and Drag's called.
And meanwhile, so we do have Fizzer engaging on some random Asian. Ignite goes down into the ultimate, or from the ultimate, but he will be good to go, not got enough burst, and he is fairly out of mana at this point as well. Also to note, pretty much everyone on IGN started Flask.
Oh yeah, it's an interesting choice. Flask is still a very efficient item. It's just that if you can't justify starting with it because of the amount of gold that it costs, if you have that concern of being bursted down, essentially, it's not such a good pickup. And also, if you wanted to start with a warder, for instance, it's also not such a good pickup, but it is still quite efficient and pays for itself in 2 or 3 backs, I think.
Yeah,
but anyway, yeah. Oh, we've actually got the Equalizer going in at top, doing a tiny bit of damage to Tim Fizzer, who just kind of walks on out. And meanwhile, at bottom lane, they have now pushed it back from the tower, so that brush control is now going to be a factor. And right now, Aaron and Nick Allen have the potential to engage on them and actually come out ahead, sheerly based on creep pressure. So you'll see Wukong playing really, really passive for a little while. Baron being quite aggressive here, looking to land some damage. And one thing I really like there about the way the Aquarius is playing the mind games is he's just stopping occasionally. He's doing that you know, Wukong thing where you create that feeling of doubt in your opponents, where they just never quite know if you're stopping because you're decoying and you're setting up for, you know, an E ultimate combo, or if you're just stopping to throw you off.
Yeah, and at the moment it's basically just to throw them off. Right now they would like to initiate, however Ashes hits 6 before the Aquarius or that Sona. So they don't want it just yet, because obviously the trading power will increase significantly when Lulu gets that ultimate. Though the Wukong ultimate and the Sona's crazy AoE, massive damage in a short amount of time, and is a really nice gank lane for that Jarvan as well. Meanwhile, top Chin Fizzer is eventually being ground down by that Rumble. And Cho'Gath is around the area, he might be able to get something done. Equalizer is nearly off cooldown, however Fizz's ultimate is off first. It will be off cooldown. Kevin looking for this gank to happen. Rupture goes down, misses the ultimate from Fizz as well. And some random Asian might be able to get out of here. Jump comes in from Fizz. Playful Trickster, and they will be backing off.
Yeah, and meanwhile, well spotted by the IGN bot lane there. Jarvan actually flagged.
And meanwhile, so we do have the Equalizer coming down, and they should be picking up the kill onto Tim Fizzer. And that was a really nice 2v1 situation turned around.
Yeah, Rumble is probably one of the best 2v1 laners in the game at the moment. But as I said, Jarvan actually was spotted out fairly well by the IGN bottom lane. They saw him flag and drag over the wall to the river brush from the tri-brush on his side. He was only visible for about half a second though, and we've actually got Wukong getting aggressive there. Flashed out from the opponent. He's going to be trying to follow this up. Nick Allen kind of...
Meanwhile, mid, we have a dive onto Ari, but Demacia will finish that one off, bringing that to a 5-0.
Yeah, so 5-0 lead is actually quite significant at this stage. Unusual composition though, and they won't have the same kind of late game. It does look like Kale is going to be going for this AP carry build, looking for that Leandry's Torment. And Aquarius still has his ultimate. Sona, no. So they're kind of missing one half of their AoE wombo combo, although Kale is now heading down to bottom. No ultimate, which is going to make diving a little more difficult. No,
indeed, but they do have the burst, and Kale does a lot of damage at this stage very early on in the game. Goes in with the Cyclone, and then Kale following with damage as well. That will be a very quick kill picked up by Sona. Clone comes down, just tank the turret shot. But there was not an ideal outcome, but it was an outcome that was in their favour nevertheless.
Yeah, it was a good thing though from their perspective that Cho'Gath hadn't reacted at that time. He was a little bit behind. I mean, obviously it's difficult to detect a gank like that, but if he'd been there, essentially, that could have backfired extremely hard. They could have had that rupture, just, you know, really throwing throwing them for a loop, throwing them for a hoop,
For the hoop.
Phrase that involves the implication that things have gone wrong. So what we're seeing now at top anyway, is actually Rumble starting to get quite aggressive onto Tim Fizzer. Tim Fizzer is 0-2-0. That's not a brilliant situation to be in. Fizz, actually like Rumble though, is a fairly farm independent character, and it actually looks like Rumble chasing him down through mid now. Some random Asian gonna look to cut him off. But anyway, Doran's Ring, Negatron Cloak, Crystalline Flask, very tanky sort of build there for Fizz actually. Just looking to survive his lane, which is fair enough now because he is down those 2 kills. He is behind on farm, and Rumble is very difficult to play against if he's ahead. If his shield is strong enough to absorb most of your burst, and then his Flame Splitter is doing more damage than you're doing through his shield, and him following you along, you are in a horrible situation, and it's going to be hard for you to, you know, do anything at all to Rumble. So your only real option is to just kind of try and tough it out. Wukong, meanwhile, actually taking quite a bit of damage from that poke from Ash and Lulu.
Yeah.
Jarvan looking around, not going to be able to make anything happen there though, I think.
Yeah, Wukong actually took a lot of damage from when Sona actually went roaming, and then they just aggressed on him, which was a really nice play. However, Rumble might look to be aggressive here. Ultimate comes down, will actually land. Shoga quite a ways away though. Initiating way before he actually arrives. He will be flashing over the corner, missing the rupture once again, and Tim Fizzer will be forced to back off with nothing really keeping him in place. Though Rumble was being quite aggressive. The rupture will be off cooldown now. Still looking to follow up. Will land it this time. Tim Fizzer is away. So the fatal trickster into the Urchin strike, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, it was a slight miscommunication there, I think. Tim Fizzer was too paranoid that Rumble was going to get away, so he used his ultimate, but then they kind of felt like there wasn't actually...
But hold that thought, because meanwhile, bottom we do have Jarvan looking for the flag and drag, will be duped by Baron, and ultimate coming in from Lulu as well. Demacia comes down with that Cataclysm, Wukong with the Cyclone, and that's a quick double kill.
Yeah, that was a painful way to die, being locked in with an angry monkey. And actually we've now got some random agent chasing down Tim Fizzer. He's doing a lot of damage here. Both Ignite has gone down, but yeah, Rumble, it turns out, is quite a good damage trader. And yeah, punch to the face ends the life of Tim Fizzer. I'm now repeatedly calling him Tim Fizzer, even when I'm trying to call him Fizz.
Yeah, it's not possible anymore. They merged. Yeah, they've merged into one. And in fact, we will have Epic. Wait, no, Epic making the opportunity to pick up that Drake, as Shogoff was not around the area.
Well, it's a pretty good thing for them to do right now. You know, 5.4k gold at this stage is actually, yeah, that's pretty massive. They do need this early game advantage. I mean, they have an early game orientated team, they have a mid game orientated team. If it hits super late game, if Ashe gets 3-4 AD carry items, the damage difference between the teams is going to be massive. And actually we've got Kale here jumping onto Ahri, not having the E up though, I think, so wasn't able to follow that up and be scary. If that E had been up, Ahri would have been in potential death or flash range. But it does look like
and that is basically the curse of Kale. You can't be awesome all the time.
Yeah, pretty much actually. Kale, this is part of the reason AD carry Kale seems to have kind of fallen out of favour, is that late game, yes, she is monstrous for what, 12 seconds at a time or something. No, 10 seconds at a time. But then you have another 12 seconds where she's not so awesome. Whereas with an AP Kale, you can actually afford to build a bit more cooldown reduction, which can work in your favour a little more. So you can be awesome more of the time. You can also obviously give her blue buff. In fact, at the moment, she must be sitting on about, 34%.
Yeah, which is quite nice. And kind of the same thing with Cogmore, but, you know, less so. Especially when Kale was basically melee range when she doesn't have that up. So right now they are 0 and 9, and IGN are not in the most fantastic of positions. They are not all that well built, basically just tier 1 boots for everyone apart from Tim, and in terms of late game, they kind of need to stall. They have a decent team fight, but really only as they scale into that late game, because of course Ashe being that AD carry. Maybe Kevin looking to get something done down the bottom. He will be aggressive onto them. Ashe goes down straight onto Edric Chaos. However, Wukong going in, crescendo into the ultimate and the Cyclone as well from Wukong, turning this one around very, very quickly. Cataclysm goes down, and Wildgrowth has gone into that Cho'Gath. Just takes a bite of Wukong on the way out, but that will be the double kill coming from Jarvan. Flash over the wall from Kale as well, aggressing straight onto that Ashe. Black and Drag goes down, nicely juked. However, Ahri looking to sweep up the mess, and Kale may die from this trade. Ahri picking up the double kill. Raffles trying to get out of here, lands it all with the deception as well. Can she follow this up? Does have the charm, but doesn't follow up with the flash, and that will bring it to a 2-2 trade.
Yeah, that was actually a little bit greedy there by Epic, I think. They really wanted to capitalize on that, even though they think they should have been able to tell that Kale was going to be in a bit of trouble there. So, yeah, it still worked out in their favor at the moment, because I feel they are, at the moment, they're dominating this fight, and that was some kind of close play at the end there by Ahri that managed to bring it back to a 2-on-2. But if they had just pulled back a little bit sooner, I think they probably would have come out with a 1-for-nothing, or, you know, in an advantageous situation.
Right. I'm not sure if Lulu died there. Did she? No. Maybe.
Good question.
Goldfish memories.
Yes, goldfish, I am. This is what I am, and it is a goldfish.
Magikarp use splash.
Well, No. Stop this. Stop this Pokemon.
It could be the beginning of something wonderful, Charmander.
Charmander the 4th. Charmander, I choose you. No,
stop it.
You can stop it. You can stop it by being good. And the Ranimation actually now getting ulted by Steel. He's going to be taking so much damage so quickly. He's going to try and take out Big Scissor in the process. He's not going to be able to do it quite in time, though. He's come pretty close, though, and that's a scary situation when you're sitting on a ward, actually.
And meanwhile, down the Drake, we will have the Initiate coming in. Rupture goes down into the Wild Growth as well. Kevin tanking huge amounts of damage, but they will be forced to back off 4v3 situation. Cataclysm comes down, knocking all three of them in. Double Flash comes down, but leaving poor Cho'Gath behind in the process. However, Ash will be pushing that top turret, because that was a gank, yes, from Ash, from bottom lane. So they should be picking this one up, and I wouldn't be surprised if Epic has two choices right now. They either push mid, which will be defended by Ari and Lulu, or they go for Drake, which is actually already down. So the option is basically to push mid.
Yeah, and Lulu Ari do actually have some pretty decent wave clear, but they're so scared right now of being dived that they do not dare to do so. In fact, on those grounds, if I had, if I were Baron and I were clairvoyant as well, I would have carried on pushing up that top lane, because that would have forced them to react. It would have forced them to send, someone else, or at least to pull Rump up there for longer. And Rumble's wave clear is not particularly great. I mean, he's not awful, but he's not going to be the fastest pusher in the world.
Ash, gotta be careful there. Okay. Bottom tower will be falling, but 1 CC from that lane will equal very, very dead Ash. So Kevin is around the area, has been revealed by that ward. Currently 3-13 on the scoreboard, about 7k ahead for Epic. And I guess we should probably pay a little bit of attention to the builds. So Jovan has actually picked up the Brutalizer, so for some early game damage, he's 5-0. He can quite easily do that because he is snowballing quite nicely. Brutalizer, the item that you go for when you are snowballing to, snowball harder. And look at the Iron Solari, so maybe looking for those tower dives, but that will definitely increase his team fighting potential, in fact the entire team's team fighting potential. And dear God, that Wukong that does a lot of damage.
Yeah, Bloodthirster and the pickaxe, so he's already got, how much? 240 AD. Wukong has the highest AD scaling AoE ability in the game, I think, his ultimate. Yeah. It has something like a 5.0 ratio on the whole ult, I think, the full channel duration. It's a scary ability with a lot of AD. And I thought for a second they were going to lose that dragon there.
Indeed. But yeah, Wukong just has something absurd on his ultimate. It is pretty crazy. In terms of
Nick Allen is actually now
we'll go down onto Lulu, and we will have the Aquarium coming in with the Initiate. Wild Growth comes in, Ash Arrow as well. 4v2 situation with Certain coming in inside. The Crescendo comes down as well, but the Aquarius has fallen, and Raffles trying to get out there as well. Ultimate comes in from Ari. However, the ultimate from Kale, the intervention will keep Raffles alive. However, Sona will also be taken down in the process. The Charles will whiff flash over the wall, triple kill for that Cho'Gath. Raffles coming back into the fray, but some random agent has returned. Will be picking up this kill onto Ari momentarily. There it is, the triple kill. Raffles still kiting that Cho'Gath with the double buff. One more auto attack, he gets some of the health back, and that will be the quadra kill for Rumble.
That is now a very scary Rumble, but all this time, Tim Fizzer is pushing out the top lane. That was actually a 4-on-5 where they came out nearly equal. Considering the gap in gold, that's actually extremely well played by IGN. They're coming out equal in a situation where they really ought not to be. And Tim Fizzer obviously doing a bit of damage to this tower. Fizz not the best pusher in the world. He hasn't been maxing his E, so yeah, that's going to cause him some issues. Then again, neither is Rumble, so neither tower actually going down here. Both of them sitting on about, well actually there's a little bit less on that upper inner tower, but on sort of around half health.
Yes, an exact science. So Sona right now has actually picked the Haunting Guys, which is interesting, and now they have 3 Haunting Guises on that team. Talk about mid-game.
Yeah. I think they might be going for that mid-game. Well, Sona actually, her Q is actually really quite strong. I mean, she's been playing that aggressive kill lane situation where she's been maxing that Q mostly. And the base damage on it is actually really, really high. And we've actually got the Q coming in. Ari forced to pop her ult to get out of that. scary situation. There's always that alarming because I think you can actually be noped when you're in Ari Ultimate. It's a very quick dash, but I think it is still a dash and not a flash.
Dash, flash, flash, dash.
The flash dash, the dash and flash. Give them the old dash and flash, shall we? Right. But I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me. And some random agent is actually not going to be done.
He has a monkey coming over him currently. The Marcio goes in, and he will be backing out of that. Just the damage portion will be
Rumble
landing.
actually now being chased down. Got the Ash follow-up, flashes out for the extra ultra attack with the slow. Toner ult comes down though. Cleanse from Baron though, a little bit slow, but gonna be okay. Gonna be landing the slow. Rupture lands on Toner. It looks like she's gonna go down too. And now Wukong is in a bit of an awkward spot. They could look to fight this though. It is a 4-on-3, but they are in pretty good health. And look, they're going to be backing out though. Nick Allen is very low, and it's a little bit concerning for him when there is someone who can stealth and then do an AoE knockup. But this is actually still looking a lot better for IGN right now. They are holding out fairly well, and the goal gap between them is decreasing. Ash now has an Infinity Edge. They are starting to get to
Aquarius.
Wow.
Well, the intervention goes down, keeping him alive. But wards, the power of wards. He will be backing off. Hopefully they might be able to pick up this kill. If Baron lands one auto attack, he will be dead. And the flash comes in from Kevin, and will be knocking up the clone. He will. We're about to eat that actually, and Aquarius still trying to get out of there. He should be good to go with a nice Nimbus strike, keeping him alive. That was a lot dicier than it should have been.
Yeah, well, just getting caught in that buff like that is very scary for him. Jarvan actually now coming in. He's going to be doing a bit of damage. He's got his flag and drag follow-up. Kevin not taking damage here. Cho is so tanky though. Warmog and a chain vest. He's going to go down eventually, but the question is whether he reaches the team first, and it looks like the team is going to be here. Jarvan going flag and drag, still going through. They can't kill Cho'Gath though. He won't die. 3,000 health nearly. So yeah, good luck with that. That being said, has forced them all to go back, although they are all out of mana too, so they're not going to be really able to capitalize off that. Looks like they just hit their head into a brick wall for a while, and now both teams are going to go back.
Indeed, John really wants to go for the Cataclysm, but I think he was actually out of mana at that stage, because that would have meant the Cyclone following up as well, which would have been quite tasty. So, right now, in terms of builds, IGN is definitely coming back into it, and it's a fairly scary time for Epic, because they need to get something done. But honestly, IGN are at the stage where they can probably just stall, wait for the Ashe to become damn scary, and just go for those team fights in that late game, and that's a definite prospect for them, because Ashe does really well into that late game with that utility. And, of course, Epic's team is so mid-game orientated, it needs something to happen. Right now, IGN being quite... Dragon's got to follow up, however, looking for the crescendo. There is onto 4 people, an intervention into the Cataclysm. Here's the AoE that we all know and hate about this team composition. There'll be another kill coming down for that Wukong. Fizz picking up a kill, but Kale responding in kind onto a kill onto that Cho'Gath, and that will be Ari popping 3 defensive ultimate charges to get out of there. That was a 4-for-1 trade, and... yeah, that would be the push down mid, AoE composition coming into its own.
Yeah, you were just about to start saying, I think, they need to make something happen here, and they did. That was really smart engage by Jarvan. He knew that IGN weren't going to let them engage on their terms, so instead he sort of baited it out. They looked like he was engaging in an unusual place, in a foolish place, because two members of the team weren't actually quite in the fight. But he was aware he could tough it out, he was tanky enough, the AoE would lock them down for long enough that all of their team could arrive, all of their team could put down the damage, and it really won them that fight. And now, with that tower down, the fact that they don't have an AD carry is going to become less of an issue for them, because they can force fights almost whenever they want. And essentially, that ability to stall is now massively reduced on IGN's part. It is possible they can still, move around, rotate around, try and keep that inhib alive, but they are on the back foot now. That is some serious pressure that's been put down.
Yeah, that was really points in the game that Epic wanted to reach, where they can they can just initiate whenever they like. They can just push down the mid, and if they want to save the inhib, okay, but otherwise they're probably going to lose that team fight. They're 10k behind right now. Its AoE composition is still really, really strong. and everyone on Epic is pretty well built. Rumble, of course, got the Rylix Crystal Scepter and the Haunting Guys, and Wukong's got the Last Whisper as well, so he's going to be cutting through all the armor. They don't have a huge amount. They have the Seeker's On Guard on Fizz, and they have the Graceful Shroud plus the Warden's Mail on Cho'Gath. So, yeah, it's difficult for IGN. That last team fight was not good, to put it lightly. Maybe they might be able to do something when the Baron down starts, but aside from that, it's not looking good.
Yeah, it was actually just starting to look up for them on a really unpleasant start. When that turnaround happened, Jarvan making plays for his team. They can still look to play this passively, though. They, defensively at least. Although Baron getting caught out here, Reckoning going down, stun goes down. Don't know if it's going to be enough, though. Ashe is kind of caught in a horrible, horrible situation. The Twin Cannon goes down. Soldier comes back, the Cataclysm goes down. Has been busted out. Timfizzer dueling Kale off to the side. Going to be running away. Sonar comes down onto Nick Allen. Kevin not going to be going down eventually. It may take some time, though, actually. And we've now got Ahri ulting in onto Kale. Show going down. Fizz now running for his life. And Wukong is looking very, very scary. Keep running, Timfizzer. Keep running.
You can make it. Run.
We believe in you, Timfizzer.
Run!
Does actually look like Epic aren't going to bother chasing him too hard, though.
Well, Dequarius is.
Dequarius is going to keep him from recalling while the rest of the team push down that inhibitor, which is actually very, very smart. Because Fizz, as he is right now, isn't that much of a threat. He's going to have to recall now. It's going to take him at least 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds maybe, to even get to that inhib, and he's not going to be able to do anything. And Ahri alone just can't stop that.
Yeah, and as a result, that inhibitor has gone down. Pressure is going to increase on the mid lane as well as the side, because the minions will now get stronger in all of those lanes, and they can basically force a Baron fight, because what are you going to do? You've got mid pushing in, you can lose maybe one of your Nexus turrets, or you can fight as a Baron, which you're still probably going to lose. The game is definitely in Epic's hands, and they can really dictate the flow of the game right now.
Yeah, there is always that potential, though. IGN do still have a good potential to pick someone off. If Epic put too much of a foot wrong, if they lose one or two key members, it'll cost them several minutes of time in which they can push. If they get, ice arrowed from a decent distance away. For instance, if there had been a ward at Baron right now, they maybe could have picked up that Sonar kill there. They could have maybe flashed over the wall with that Ahri as well. It's always a possibility when you have Ashe on your team to get a pick. And that can really, really turn games around on a what looks like a failed situation for you.
Yeah, and they do have the type of team which can make plays. They have the Ashe Arrow, they have a huge amount of CC to follow up on that. So that is potentially an option. Can go down onto the Baron, Ashe's bottom. This is not a good position. Ashe Arrow could go in, maybe stop them for a second, but she wants to get as close as possible for that to happen first. They have a huge amount of vision. Twin Shadows go down, Equalizer as well, really just to push them back. They will land the E as well. Aquarius coming in, will not be able to follow up with Charm Landing as well. Rupture goes down, just pushing away that Sonar Crescendo. Lulu's ultimate, and Cyclone comes in just for the kill onto Lulu, knocks up Timfizzer as well. Meanwhile, we will have the random Aiden on the rampage. Fizzer will die. Fizz, I can't even do that anymore. And Kale will be chasing down Kevin. That's a 3-for-0 trade. Rumble on very low HP, he might just go for the push in right now. Cho'Gath and Ahri can do very little about it. The safe option would be going for that Baron. But, yeah, what they like at this stage.
Looks like they're just going to go for the Baron off this. Wukong can tank it for a fairly long time. He is pretty tough to kill. Sonar also actually now has a Leandries. And yeah, they can alternate who's tanking this. And meanwhile, Kale is going to be pushing simultaneously. Also, call him Timfizzer. I refer to Timfizzer.
Excellent.
Timfizzer. Timfizzer. Yep. But anyway, it looks like the Baron is going to fall. They aren't going to clear it particularly fast without Kale there. But there's no real way for IGN to contest this right now. So it looks like they're going to get it. Perhaps if they reacted a little faster, though, they might have gotten there in time. He just goes down. And actually now got Cho'Gath landing the Rupture, landing the Feral Scream. Feasting, not going to be able to quite take anyone out. We've got Ahri coming in from the side. Aquarius taking a lot of damage. Flashes after Jarvan. Can't quite get him though. charm actually did land, though. Could have possibly followed that up. Didn't manage it. We've now got the damage following down. Rumble just going to be going down. Triple kill there for Ash. And that's actually quite important. Although the gold has gone in the favor of Epic there, they are going to have some difficulties capitalizing on it, and it's going to be a little bit of relief for IGN. They're not going to have that horrible, horrible pressure they've been feeling since the inhibitor went down. They are going to take some global gold for themselves with this tower, which Kevin can't actually tank indefinitely, but he can tank for a pretty long time. So it's actually worked out pretty well for them, although obviously had Ari managed to get that extra kill onto Jarvan, I think it would have actually swung the gold total in their favor as well, and they are still in a nasty situation where they don't really have control of the game.
Yeah, and right now Epic can just take their buff, they can probably just go for Drake as well, just increase their advantage, go for that team fight and just push it in for a win, because that inhibitor is still down, and even if it respawns, that's going to be a focal point for a team fight to happen, and they want these team fights to be happening. And they can probably just take that top tower with impunity, because there's very little that IGN can do about it. They can fight under it, but they might as well just be fighting in open ground, because at this stage in the game, if it's focused on the tank, which is what they want to be happening, it's essentially doing nothing. The Raffles will just take that to their face all day. So there's Drake. They picked up the bust as well. We're picking up the red buff as we speak. And yeah, it's really just in Epic's court. They just need to make an initiate happen, probably down the middle, probably taking that top turret first. And what is IGN going to do about it? Maybe they can look for a pick while everyone's spread out. And there's Yatoro coming down, but will be duped very, very narrowly by Aquarius.
I will say though, Baron is now in possession of just enough gold to get a last Whisper. 3-item IED carry is kind of a turning point in the build, where it suddenly basically becomes better than everything else ever. And we're actually seeing Raffles going in with a flag and drag. Obviously this speed though doesn't do you any good being having 3 items which don't have them yet. Solar flashing ult misses there. Kevin not going to be chasing in, he's so tanky, but he is going to go down eventually. Nick Allen popping his ult onto him. He still goes down, it also went down onto him. Not quite sure who did that, but it does look like they are once again on the back foot. Ash is going to go back, probably going to have time to pick up that last Whisper, which is critical. They do have a lot of armor to get through. They do have that Zonius, they do have that Seeker's Arm Guard on Rumble, that Jarvan. All of them have a lot of armor, and that is now going to make Baron a much bigger damage set, but I don't think they can fight it. Flag and drag goes in, Cyclone goes in, bursting down, Ash is out of there, Tim Fizzer also going down, the Aquarius is going to take out the extra there, and that is the GG call. Couldn't quite stall it for long enough, I think.
Yeah, and well, we have Ari with the home guard coming in, but basically they had, Epic had such a good early game advantage, and they just snowballed it into that mid game, and they just played for the composition. They knew they had to get something done, and they made something of it. Weapon, picking up a kill up at the end, so that will be the GG. That will be Epic picking up the win against IGN.
Yeah, it was actually a very unconventional team composition, and they really made it work. They had those Jarvan ganks in the early game. They really actually kept a lot of vision control. They kept those pink wards in there so that Jarvan could gank, so that they could get that lane snowballing. They had that AoE composition. They made those mid-game fights happen in their favor, and they just really played it excellently. There were 1 or 2 occasional slip-ups, but other than that, you know, that Baron fight where they stuck around a little bit too long, that they just did an excellent job, and props to them as well. Their builds seem to have really been thought out quite well. I mean, they sit with the way they wanted to play. That Twin Shadows to lock down people, that Zonia's to keep KL alive when she's used her ult on someone else. That whole setup, I really do think was excellent.
Yeah, and AoE composition, what can you do? Honestly, when you get caught in that in a team fight, you will win. It was all about trying to sort of skirt around that, maybe sort of pull it out until late into the game. But I think one of the main turning points of that game was when IGN looked for that push down middle, but just got initiated on by Epic. And really, they had the advantage. Well, they were coming back into the game. I would say they had the advantage, but that was the point in the game where they just needed to kind of stall it out, and they couldn't actually get pushed in because they could fight underneath those turrets. But at that point, it was really just downhill. So I think right now we should probably do a bit of plugging, which is my favourite time of the cast.
Oh, I love to plug. I am a massive plugger. Which sounds like a... So, yeah, I have a Facebook, and I have a Twitter, and I have a YouTube actually as well, where nobody likes any of my videos. But facebook.com/SpuddingtonCasts, you will be seeing now on the break screen links to various things. I should mention actually, youtube.com Renegade37 is our streamer for today, who is very kindly streaming for us because my Pulse's internet sucks. But anyway, facebook.com/SpuddingtonCasts, at Spuddington, and is Twitter, by the way, if you don't know Twitter. I don't know Twitter, to be honest. Twitter is confusing to me, but I sort of understand roughly how Twitter works. Anyway, I think Pulse also has a few things.
Yes. Facebook.com/WatchYourPulse, same as my YouTube. YouTube.com/WatchYourPulse. Got a few videos on there. Also make Evan Champion Spotlight. Check that out.
It's outdated.
Twitter. It is outdated, but it's still funny, damn it. And yeah, I do have a Twitter, but I don't really update it, so yeah, I might do that at some point. And Soviet Pride, you should check that guy out because he is our streamer today, helping us out massively. He has basically written the encyclopedia, the Bible, on LeBlanc, and is currently making work on the Swain Guide. So you should definitely check that out if you want to be a better LeBlanc player, which I'm sure you do. I mean, I just wake up every morning and I'm like, you know what I really want to do today? Just improve my LeBlanc gameplay.
If only I